Okay, we're going to an episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff to have a really cool review for you guys from the brand Uncle Straps. A little about them: they're a strap and bracelet maker, really made popular by the Seiko mod community, but have since really built their platform to support other types of, OEM like fitted end link options within the bracelet space, all the way up, to Omegas. But here you're going to see it on a Hamilton. But definitely check out some of their other options. But guys, I'm really here to highlight this new Senator bracelet for the Hamilton Khaki Field Murph 38mm. It's a 3-link Oyster-style bracelet, and it's exactly what I've kind of always wanted for this watch. As much as I've enjoyed really pairing this watch with a bunch of different straps thanks to its 20mm lug width, I have to say, guys, having it on the bracelet just gives it a sense of completion that it's almost like a relief to feel. Like it's that good. Like they do it so well. Everything just feels like it fits. It's like not just physically, but also aesthetically. I think everything flows really, really beautifully. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. I know a lot of you really enjoy this watch, and I think this might be the thing that have held some of you back from purchasing this piece, and it also might be a reason why some of you have this watch, like myself. Maybe you didn't wear it as much as you could have or would have if you would have had it on this type of bracelet. So with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. Okay guys, wow, check it out. So everything flows. You have that beautifully fitted end link, female style end link, so everything is just gonna drape really beautifully, and it just fits, guys. And even when we look at the way they did the push button milled folding clasp here, it just looks like it just was meant to be, and I really like that. You even get 3 positions of manual micro adjust. These are going to be screw in links, as you can see there, polished on the side, brushed on the top. Beautiful taper, guys. Check that out. Very nice, very clean, from 20mm down to 16mm, which is kind of the magic number here, guys. I mean, this really just takes it up a notch, right? It goes from being more of a kind of a field watch to being maybe a little bit more of an adventure ready watch, right? It kind of transitions like that. And I just really love that about this piece. It just, just looking at it, like, this is meant to be. Like, I love this. No, it's not movie correct, but neither is it being at 38mm versus the 42mm option that was in the movie. So let's just get that out of the way. This is definitely something that I think is really going to resonate and speak to, of course, watch collectors and watch enthusiasts. Maybe even if you didn't even watch the movie Interstellar, you see this and you go, oh man, that is a beautiful no date, beautifully symmetrical, very legible, right? But also very signature with the font, with the cathedral handset, the different just tones. Check out the hands here. They're not just a simple white color. They're actually blasted a matte silver. So they actually catch the light and glimmer and shimmer in very specific ways. You do have, of course, that polished bezel that ties in to the polished sides there. And I don't know, just everything about this just makes sense to me. Like, I love this. And there is another option as well. And I'm typically more of a Jubilee guy, and this is offered on a Jubilee style, a 5-link. It's called the Executive. So there's also that option. So definitely check out their website. I'll leave a link down in the description so you guys can kind of check them out more. But for me, this aesthetic, the 3-link, it just suits the watch and it just fits it perfectly. And it just, again, it just keys in to more of that kind of Explorer-esque type of theme, and I just really dig it, guys. The matte black dial, the slightly warm, you can't even call it faux tina. It just has a nice warm color palette, and I really like that. It's more of an ivory tone with maybe just a hint of honey in there, and it looks fantastic. I've always loved the look of this watch. It's been really fun pairing it with various straps. I mean, I've had this on all types of, pass-through straps, two-piece straps, hybrid straps. I've really had it on everything, even silk, fine silk strap. Definitely check the channel history if you guys want to see some of the other options that I've put on this. But man, something about it on this bracelet, I'm more of a bracelet guy, and I see this, it's beautiful. Like, it's simple, it's classic, it's timeless. Let's look at even the side profile of the watch. It just flows. And then of course with that female end link, it all drapes. It follows the natural curvature of that case, and it just looks lovely. Very, very nice. So normally if this was a watch review, I'd cut away and I'd put it on the wrist, but since this is a strap review, I guess I could demo it for you guys. We would of course hit the twin triggers, nicely signed clasp, just to mention that, with a nice transition and finish with that high polish here that comes up from the sides and then meets really beautifully with that nice clean brushing. So nicely signed Uncle, of course. Get our wrist through. I only removed one link for my 7.5-inch wrist, and it was on this side of the clasp because I do like to keep it shorter. On the make sure it's actually secured. There you go. I do like to keep it shorter on the 6 o'clock side of the case, but check that out. My goodness, that is absolutely just beautiful. I mean, check that out. The drape there, the taper, it all just flows. It hugs the wrist really beautifully. And on my, larger than normal wrist, I think it looks fantastic. Of course, if I get my wrist a bit too close to the camera lens, you're going to have a bit of perspective distortion. So it's going to make the watch appear a little bit larger. You're going to see less of that bracelet on there, on either side of the case. But if I rest my wrist nice and low and then just tighten up the frame here, you guys will be able to see that it actually sits beautifully centered. And the way that this nice satin brushing just ties everything together, flows beautifully. I dig it, guys. This is cool. Now, again, not a review, so if you're interested in more information about the Hamilton Khaki Field Murph, definitely check my previous history here. But since this thing looks so good, let's actually get it off the wrist, set up for some loom shots, the light transition, and closing thoughts. All right, let's go ahead and hit the lights here. Hey, beautiful loom for a field watch, guys. Doesn't fail. This just really comes through. But of course, one thing I always like to work in is a bit of a low light transition, and in this case, it's so you guys can just kind of take a chance to appreciate the finishing on this bracelet, the beautiful satin brush there, the equal, just really composed way that uniform finish just reflects the light and plays with it is really fantastic here, guys. Check that out. And of course, if you haven't seen the full review of the watch, it is nice to also take a look at how legible this is, and looking at, of course, all of the different colors and textures and finishes, and seeing how they render in less than optimal lighting, because you're not always going to be out in the middle of a field enjoying direct sunlight. A lot of times you're going to find yourself coming in and out of buildings, walking underneath overhangs, or just hanging out underneath the shade of a tree. So yeah, it's nice to see how this might actually look. Sure, we're going to get a little bit of fun, a light play off of here, like we're inside of the Tesseract from Interstellar, guys. But man, this thing is just it's gorgeous. And the steel bracelet, somehow it just brings that dial together. It almost makes the kind of ivory tone almost seem like a gilt, right? I mean, you guys seeing that too? It almost has more of it brings out the golden tones in it, those warm tones, and that matte black dial just in most instances, it's going to render as black, but then you get certain lighting situations and you really can bring out a bit of, you know, almost anthracite-like gray because of the matte finish. But you can see here, very deep, very dark, very, very handsome, guys. Look at that. Just barely enough light, and it just looks the business. Ooh. All right. So, guys, compatibility, of course, this is going to fit the Hamilton Khaki Field Murph. As you see here in the 38mm, these go for $99 from Uncle Straps. And again, it's also available in the executive trim, which is a 5-link Jubilee style. But for me, guys, while I typically do prefer Jubilees, the Senator 3-link Oyster style just suits this Hamilton Murph 38 just about perfectly. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and it's wonderful to finally have a flawless fit option on there, because it does actually have a slightly unique case compared to the other 38mm Hamilton Khaki Field watches. Because they did shorten that lug to lug, and they really did do their best to set those contours and make sure that that drape really wraps. And, you know, again, this silhouette really speaks to enthusiasts. Of course, if you're a cinephile and you're a big fan of Interstellar, you're loving this for other reasons as well. But I mean, I think just based on the merits of its design, this is just one of the best looking Swatch Group watches you can buy. It's absolutely fantastic, and you pair it onto this bracelet and it just takes it up to another level. So with that said, let me know what you all think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please do a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.